The postseason is right around the corner. One side in LAFC 2 has already punched their ticket. Real Monarchs in playoff contention. This one is going to be grand. We're at Titan Stadium in Fullerton, California for some MLS Next Pro Western Conference action. Hello, family. I'm James Hadnot. Thank you so much for joining us. Real Monarchs with 3 games remaining, including this matchup with LAFC, and they are trying to make the playoffs for the first time in the league. For LAFC, a team that last year really struggled, was at the bottom of the league. They've already punched their ticket to the playoffs, but Coach Junior Gonzalez says what's next for us is to win our division. We take a look at the Western Conference standings right now. How tight is that? 6 teams have already found themselves in the playoffs, and now how many teams are trying to get those last 2 spots? 5 to be exact. Real Monarchs finding themselves there at the bottom, but with a couple of wins down the stretch, they might be able to put themselves in playoff position. Let's take a look at the starting 11 for Coach Gonzalez, playing in a 4-3-3, and this side coming off a come-from-behind victory over Portland. And for LAFC and Coach Gonzalez, the big key is trying to keep a clean sheet today. So David Ochoa is going to be huge in goal. They have conceded first in their last 4 matches, and they are trying to tinker with some things defensively to prepare them for the playoffs. On the flip side, for Coach Mark Lowry and Real Monarchs, the message was simple: win. They have to win down the stretch if they want to jump teams that are ahead of them right now. And if they do not, then they will not be in the playoffs. This is a young side, and Owen Anderson, who is tied for the team lead in goals, is a young player, but he's grown so much over the course of the season. Coach Lowry saying that at the beginning of the year, he was playing tentative. He knew he was one of the better players on the team as a call-up from the academy, but he wasn't playing with the same type of fire that's necessary to lead a team. But once he matured over the course of this year, he's now playing with a different type of vibe. And that's one where he knows he can put the team on his back if necessary, but also makes the necessary plays for his teammates. Servando Berna, our referee, blows his whistle, and we begin from Titan Stadium on the campus of Cal State Fullerton. LAFC currently at the top of their division, taking on Real Monarchs. Sitting in 12th in the West, but still alive for the playoffs. LAFC in their black and gold kits. Real Monarchs in their road white kits. And from the jump, Real Monarchs are going to put pressure on LAFC. As mentioned, they have struggled in giving up goals. They found themselves down by 2 goals against Portland in their last match. They found a way to come back. Monarchs stepping in front. Now the ball off the right side. Lewis Mueller commits the foul. So to set the stage rather quickly for Real Monarchs, with a loss today that keeps them at 31 points. They cannot be eliminated today because Sporting Kansas City already lost their match earlier in the match week. So they will be alive for another week in regards to playoff contention, but with 31 points and Vancouver currently sitting with 39, it will be difficult to jump them if they do not at least get 2 points today. Multiple teams play each other down the stretch. Vancouver plays Austin and Houston, who currently sit with 34 and 35 points respectively. And for LAFC, trying to win their division, it's a tight race as well. Town, 45 points. Tacoma, 43, and Ventura right behind with 42. So a lot to play for both of these teams. Jaime, back to the goalkeeper, Ochoa. DeCarlo Guerra and Lewis Mueller not on the same page. Wonderful ball over the top. Gozo has an opportunity, and Ochoa stands tall. The first save of the day for Ochoa. Real Monarchs still on the attack. Gozo a little slip. Owen Anderson out wide. Now Storley. Anderson. And you see Jaime gets a piece of that. It goes off of Anderson for a goal kick. This is an exceptional ball over the top, and Xavier Gozo just could not put it around Ochoa. That's the aggressive nature of the Monarchs. And when you have a center back who can pick out a pass over the entire 11, an amazing feat at that, and really just gonna put LAFC on notice. Jude Terry can't slither around his defender. Throw in for Real Monarchs. Close down, Guerra, slipping ball, little tap out wide to Sullivan. Nick Sullivan continues in possession. Rosenthal, he was offside. After that nervy moment, just sent away. Farnsworth. Once again, the back line of Real Monarchs not completely locked in here. Almost another glorious chance for LAFC. As that shot hit the side netting, would have been a disastrous start for the away side. A long clearance, and LAFC will take over in possession. Both of these coaches want to dictate the pace of the game. Coach Lowry for Real Monarchs wants to have his team enforce their will on LAFC. And for the black and gold, possession-based, really want to dictate the flow. Mueller with a little tap, taking the ball off of Sebastian Joffrey, and foul is committed. It will be a free kick. So Louis Mueller is the man in these situations. Not the best angle to take a shot, but plays an excellent ball. This has been something that LAFC has worked on. Offensive restarts. They have been much better as of late. Mueller is a big reason why, coming back off of injury. Ball is sent in. It's headed high by Joffrey, clearing it. And it's out for a corner. And this, again, this ricochet. Joffrey doesn't know who's behind him, so as soon as he gets a beat on it, that almost skipped off his head and into the back of the net. Another chance on a set piece here in the 8th minute. Mueller lifts this ball. It's brought down and then cleared away. Eric Baruman could not control it just inside the 18. A lot of contact as Baruman went down. And now Jude Terry on this ball for LAFC. Terry decides to shoot, leaning to his left. Tough angle, tough technique. Goal kick. Once again, looping ball over the top. Ochoa just lets it roll inside his box. The intended target was Jordan Perusa. LAFC coming the other way. Mueller sticks with it. Now into Jude Terry. Charlie Rosenthal isolated, and a sliding stop. We'll have to wait to see officially if that's going to be a throw or a corner. But Keller Storley defending. Here's a throw, ball is in. to Rosenthal. Sanders. Diaz around to Baruman. Now Mueller once again finding some space. Mueller is contacted with and a little aggressive by Sebastian Joffrey, but it's let go. You can see Mueller wasn't too happy, felt like that was too aggressive. Players like things to be consistent, so if that's how things will go, that's the expectation moving forward. Monarchs trying to play out of the back. Ball slips through. Griffin Dillon. And now past midfield. Iskandarian. Anderson. Out wide now. Ball loops in too high. And Ochoa brings it down. Twelfth minute of action. No score between Real Monarchs and LAFC. The home side has been fantastic at home this year. This ball skips up to the goalkeeper, William Mackey. LAFC, 8 home wins, tied with a host of other teams for the most in the league. If they were to get a win tonight, they would have the lead with 9 home wins. Perusa out wide. Joffrey. Orozco. Now Storley. Xavier Gozo, shoulder to shoulder with Jaime. He does well to slow him down. Jaime sprinting forward now. Centered. Now, ball scoots to Lewis Mueller. Guerra with the underlapping run. Rosenthal, and what a diving save by William Mackey. Offside was the eventual decision, but Mackey doesn't know that. He gets a paw to it. Wow. We talked about how the back line gave up a couple of early chances to LAFC, but they were in sync there, stepping at the same time. Now it's Iskandarian. Anderson can't get around Adrian Sanders. Darren Iskandarian. Chris Jaime stops that diagonal ball. Griffin Dillon back on it for Monarchs. Sliding, and then Iskandarian was not on the same page with Joffrey. This portion of the match is brought to you by BMO, official bank of LAFC. 15th minute of action. Playoffs on the line for Real Monarchs. LAFC already in the playoffs, but currently sitting third. They have 45 points. St. Louis is above them with 50. North Texas this past week with their win over Austin clinched the #1 overall seed in the Western Conference and will have home field advantage for the entire Western Conference playoff race. And that is something that North Texas is very pleased with, seeing as they have not lost at home all year. 8 wins, no losses, 5 draws. LAFC trying to have something similar. If they could eclipse St. Louis and potentially have 2 home playoff games if they were to win, that would fancy them. Currently with 8 home wins this season. Moyato. And once again, some pushing and shoving. LAFC man on the pitch. And you can hear the fans starting to get a little restless. Terry, slipping ball to Rosenthal. Cut back. Sullivan just too far out in front. Mueller. He can't center. Looking for DeCarlo Guerra. LAFC starting to find some chances. Gozo can't keep this in play. Headman Junior Gonzalez said, I know with the way we've been playing, we are going to create opportunities. That's why the key. Wow! Talk about Sullivan and an opportunity that was created. And again, that ball just dropping for him. He could not control it. Finishing the point on Coach Gonzalez, he said, with the way that we've been playing, firmly believe we're going to create enough opportunities. That's why the defense is so important and not conceding goals. Anderson inside the box. Now Owen Anderson is closed down by Charlie Rosenthal. Taking a look at this last chance for LAFC. Another ball that's picked out. Sullivan made the run. And again, in front of goal. On one with the keeper. This is also the moment where Coach Gonzalez said that we tend to concede after a great chance for ourselves. That's when we might turn off. Hoping that that's not the case right now. This Kandarian preparing to take the corner for Real Monarchs. Right into the 6. Ball's headed away. Danger not completely dealt with. Gozo slides it across, then receives it back. And well done defensively by Rosenthal. Just closing down the space and just stepping in between Xavier Gozo and the ball. Sullivan making the long run again, and the ball will bounce into the box. Holt. Jordan Perusa was offside. Now Monarchs come in 7, 12, and 6. 4 shootout wins to their tally. A win today puts them a point out of the playoffs. They currently sit with 31. Houston holding on to the last playoff spot with 35. Jude Terry slipping out wide to Chris Jaime. Sanders, just 15 years of age, playing a key center back role. This LAFC side has a lot of academy talent on the pitch. Whether it is Jude Terry, Adrian Sanders, Harley Rosenthal, all are not only just getting good minutes here with the second team, but preparing themselves to eventually be on the first team one day. This is a giveaway to Rosenthal. Rides the tackle. Chris Jaime, first ever signing for LAFC 2. Jaime to the end line. And well done by Keller Storley as he closed down that space. This portion of the match is brought to you by CarMax, car buying reimagined. Since Real Monarchs had the early chance by Xavier Gozo, it's pretty much been one-way traffic for LAFC. Monarchs trying to change that. It's Gozo. Anderson does well to win the ball. Holt. Farnsworth. Chance to be in possession for Real Monarchs. Gozo brings it down over the top. Anderson trying to connect with Gozo, cannot. Dylan. Now Joffrey. Nice spell of possession for Real Monarchs as they look for the opening goal. Xavier Gozo into Owen Anderson. Storley tries the big switch. Joffrey. Darren Iskandarian has his shot blocked. Ball won back by Real Monarchs. Gozo onside. And could not find the cross. Monarchs knocking on the door right now as they continue to put pressure on this LAFC defense. Dylan out of the phone booth. Can't find Gozo down the right side. And finally, with that shove in the back, play comes to a halt. Jude Terry, quick restart. Lewis Mueller on the ball. Mueller, and he ends up on the pitch. William Mackey got in front of him. Mueller is still down. So Jude Terry quickly seeing that his team had an advantage. Mueller first does well around Farnsworth, and then with Mackey stopping play, Mueller just getting on his feet. And now it looks like Farnsworth is down. The referee, Servando Berna, has to believe that with Mueller making the move and trying to go around and then jumping through Mackey, that Mackey did not make a before play caused any foul. Mueller, you just saw kind of talking with Mackey. And now Mueller having a conversation with the referee. As Farnsworth is receiving medical attention, Servando Berna, the referee, is now hearing it from anyone in the black and gold jersey. Farnsworth is not going to be able to continue. So Luca Moisa comes on for Zachary Farnsworth. An early substitution being made by Coach Mark Lowry due to injury. Minute of action. LAFC has had two big chances, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Nick Sullivan and Lewis Mueller both could not capitalize. Real Monarchs also had their one-on-one chance with the goalkeeper. Xavier Gozo also could not find the back of the net. And that is why we sit at 0-0, nearing half an hour played at Titan Stadium. Owen Anderson turns the ball over. Moyado, Guerra, into Jaime. Coach calls him a utility man, can play him anywhere. Lewis Mueller, very comfortable outside. He also can play the 9. Moyado into Terry. And that's going to be a foul on Terry, another teenager. One thing that Coach Gonzalez wants for this side when these young players come up, knows that there's going to be growing pains, knows that they're going to make mistakes. That's why he's so proud of what this team has been able to do this year. Also, when they go back down to play with the U17s, wants them to dominate. Drew Terry did that at the GA Cup earlier this year. And he has continued to blossom under the tutelage of this coaching staff. And this is just the tip of the iceberg for LAFC. Gozo once again does well to keep possession. Around Jaime, Gozo, Anderson stopped, and his second shot is blocked as well. Ball still in the box. LAFC once again doing just enough. David Ochoa, another massive save in the first half. Gozo isn't finished just yet. Decides to retreat back to Holt. The message was keep a clean sheet. David Ochoa heard that loud and clear. Gozo has done very well on this outside, really keeping possession, and this ball slipped into Anderson, took the touch, and then decided to shoot. David Ochoa made a fantastic save. Rosenthal is upended, and that's going to be a foul. Jaciel Orozco, the guilty party. This portion of the match is brought to you by DoorDash, exclusive on-demand delivery partner of LAFC. Just more than 15 minutes remaining in this first half. David Ochoa has been a star defensively. In goal, Lewis Mueller with 2 men around him, still working. Now Guerra plays in the ball. The bounce in the box, and Xavier Gozo controls for Real Monarchs. Counter press is on. Gozo uses his strength to keep possession. And Rosenthal boots it out of play for Real Monarchs corner. Very important match today. 6 teams for 2 spots. 6 teams have already clinched a playoff spot in the Western Conference, and right now there are still 6 teams in contention for the final playoff spot with 2 weeks remaining in the year. That's what it's all about. LAFC is one of the teams that's already clinched. Nick Sullivan racing to track down this ball. Rosenthal, Sullivan, now Jude Terry. Christian Diaz tracks this down. Now Moyado. Terry, nice little touch. Then returns to Jaime. Defensively, Luca Moisa quickly into the match. Defends well. Nice contingent out to watch LAFC 2. Some Monday Night Football. Gozo into the open space. Switches play to Joffrey. Quick ball in. And unable to get a good, clean header on it was Jaciel Orozco. Anderson can't go around Jaime. And feeling the pressure being pushed down. Earns the restart. Ochoa will come to put this away. Joffrey goes around Mueller. Now Darren Iskandarian. Joffrey. And Iskandarian can't connect. Monarchs still on the ball. Gozo right around Jaime again. Jaime does so well even after being beaten initially. Chance for the Monarchs, and not enough bite on that shot from Jordan Peruzza. But Real Monarchs are getting chances inside the 18. That's where their shots are coming from, and that's not something that LAFC can continue to allow if they want to keep that clean sheet and make their manager happy. Terry with a bad giveaway. Moyado has his back. LAFC in possession. Mueller. Hands to the face of Sebastian Joffrey, not on purpose, but that's going to warrant a stoppage. See here, just trying to control the ball, also keep his balance. Direct ball. It's dealt with by Eric Burman. Real Monarchs tried to play direct mostly here in this first half. Xavier Gozo has made some waves on the wide side down the right for the Monarchs. Other than that, that's what a lot of their positive play has come from. Carlo Guerra does well to keep that ball in. Mueller looking for Rosenthal. That's going to be a foul on Charlie Rosenthal, holding the shorts of Haciel Orozco. For LAFC, they've been able to play over the top. They've been able to play through the lines. On a quick restart, Lewis Miller had a chance to take a shot, but tried to go around the goalkeeper, ended up on the pitch. There was nothing there, said our referee, Servando Berna. Nick Sullivan had a chance right in front of goal for LAFC. He could not convert. Gozo keeps this in. Again, Christopher Jaime closes him down. It's been a battle down that right side between Jaime and Gozo. Just like in a prize fight, sometimes one might get the best of the other. It's been like that today. Jaime has held his own, while Gozo has shown his stuff throughout this first 38 plus. Moyado around Moisa. Jaime and Moyado. Sullivan made the run. Moyado couldn't complete the pass. Iskandarian, hands off. Mueller dumps into Rosenthal. And then it's cleared into the seats by Eric Holt. Moyato. Sullivan can't take the touch around Keller Storley. And the Hurriana Monarchs have an opportunity late in this half to make some magic happen. Gozo around Jaime and Terry. Slips to Peruzzo. Sanders sticks with it, finds Jude Terry. Terry continuing down the touchline. Official saying that he was out. Throw-in coming for Real Monarchs. The two teams have played already this season. Real Monarchs has dropped both of those fixtures. LAFC winning 3-2 and 2-1. Coach Lowry saying that didn't feel like his side was outplayed at all in those matches. Felt like his side might have fared better, although the scoreline didn't show. That's why he came in this match with confidence, but also tinkered with the screws of pressure. That's always a word around this time this year. Gozo closed down by two men. Rosenthal can't go around Moisa. But Carlo Guerra on it for LAFC. Finishing the point on Coach Lowry of Real Monarchs, said that played up a bit too. That idea of pressure and the necessity to win, because that's just the fact of the matter. If we don't win, we probably won't make the playoffs. So wanted his team to play loose and still play with high energy, but it was more not to make them tight, but to let them know they have to make that extra run. They have to put that extra bit of energy in, that extra bit of fire necessary defensively if they want to come out victorious. There's a foul on Xavier Gozo. LAFC will have a late free kick. Takes the free kick. It's punched away by William Mackey. Joffrey starts his jaunt forward. And David Ochoa sweeping things out with Darren Iskandarian looming. Fourth official announcing a minimum of 2 minutes of stoppage time. Mackey almost makes a mistake. Joffrey steps in front of Mueller. This will be an LAFC throw. Ball quickly comes into DeCarlo Guerra. Mueller, a crowd around him. Moyado, Terry. Slips out wide. Terry, onside. Returns to Baruman. No cross yet. Scoops towards Mueller. Returns to Baruman. Now the ball sent in. Storley heads it away. Moyado turning, he's fouled. And another free kick for LAFC. LAFC has been practicing these offensive restarts from set pieces. They've grown rather successful in this arena, and they strike before halftime. This might be the last action of the first half. Mueller towards Jaime. Scoop towards the box. Hit away, Baruman. Dumping into the box. Rosenthal will track it down, and still a chance for LAFC. Jaime. And with Iskandarian tracking this one down, that'll be the first half. Xavier Gozo had the early chance for Real Monarchs. He was stonewalled by Ochoa, who's made some massive saves for LAFC. On the flip side, it was Lewis Mueller and Nick Sullivan who had chances in front of goal. They could not finish, and we have no score at the break here in Fullerton, California. Coming up, we take another trip to the coach's corner after this timeout.
Toda mi gente lo siente, 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 toda mi gente caliente, toda mi gente lo siente. Toda mi gente suena, en la fadera suena, el techo se me llena, toda mi gente lo siente.
Action.
Vamos, dale pues, vamos allá, muévete más loco como solo tú lo sabes. Así es, pon la mano en la cabeza, sacúdete, 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 mira, sacúdete. Listen up, all eyes on me, I'll show you who you wanna be.
Welcome back. Whitecaps FC are looking to make the MLS NEXT Pro playoffs for the first time ever. Michel Montaigne caught up with the head coach, former MLS great Ricardo Clark, in this latest edition of Coach's Corner.
What's up, guys? We're back for another edition of Coach's Corner, this time in Vancouver, Canada, with head coach of Whitecaps FC2, Ricardo Clark. Rico, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Second full year as the head coach of this club. What has been the biggest lesson that you learned from year number one that you've used here in year number two?
Yeah, I'd say a big lesson is just learning how to manage the second team environment in general, right? Obviously as a coach, you're naturally turning into a leader, and then you're managing your staff, you're managing players, but within the dynamic of a second team, you're managing up and below, if you get what I say. So, so many different unpredictable factors with the second team. So with all that, you try to, get as organized as you can going into the season, but also just be ready to adapt week to week, but even day to day, right? And integration is something we've sort of tried to evolve within the club and in the second team environment. And with that becomes a lot of unpredictability, right? Yeah, I say within that, just growing in that role and growing in the development space and managing all that to make sure we're getting the most out of the players, I'd say is an area of growth for me through this year after learning from last year.
When it comes to the postseason specifically, you guys are once again kind of hovering right there around that playoff line. What did you learn from last year that you can use to change your playoff fate for this season?
Surprisingly, I think this year we've actually, I'd say, put less focus on making the postseason. I think how we approached, or at least the mindset we tried to approach this year with, especially with instilling it amongst the players, is to just focus on the day-to-day, right? Focus on the day-to-day, how you're maximizing the opportunity, whether you're with the second team, whether you're a second team player with the second team player with the first team for the day, whether you're an academy player with the second team or even first team, just making sure whatever comes about for the day, you're maximizing it, taking advantage of the opportunity and looking to become better within that moment, right, within that day. And then obviously, you progress throughout the week, and on the match day -1, the match day, then it's about in the second team environment, how are we gathering as much information as possible, then contributing it to the game to perform individually, to help the collective, right, to hopefully have a good performance, and then hopefully the result takes care of itself. I would say with that, the group has done well to sort of take on that mindset, and we found ourselves with 4 games left in the season and right in the playoff hunt. So what we've done, we've kind of corralled the group together, especially the leaders amongst the group, the more experienced players, and asked them what they want. Over these last 5 games, they said they really want to compete to make the playoffs, okay? So we've set our objectives for the end of the season. We really are taking the approach of having a playoff mindset and making the playoffs this season, and now it's about the action steps within that to hopefully make that happen for the players.
As a former player yourself, I'd imagine a lot of that mindset comes from your experience of going through match day -1, match day, having to deal with the ups and downs of the season. What do you find yourself using most from your playing days now as a coach?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things, but one thing in particular is sort of having that feeling or empathy for what the player is feeling in the moment, right? To hopefully get them to respond or to motivate them, right? I know players respond to different things, different people, but I think I try to leverage, me being in their shoes at one point, whether it's just for a match day, whether it's just for their general careers and motivating them to hopefully have a sustainable and long career. But I think, again, like I said, just being in their shoes, finding ways and methods for them to respond, to hopefully have them perform for the short term and the long term. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. You touched on the uniqueness of being the head coach of this kind of intermediary level. With that in mind, how do you define success for the club this year? I know you talked about the playoff mindset, but in general, how do you define success?
Yeah, I define success by, I would say, first of all, developing as many players as possible and helping them reach their full potential, right? With that, you know, there's objectives there, right? How many players can we prepare and develop to make sure they're ready for a first team level, right? Obviously it can get better, but I think in regards to a decent amount of players, I feel like some players have reached that level to this part of the season. Obviously, only so many players can make it. So then it's, okay, if it's not here, how we prepared them for maybe another first team environment, right, elsewhere, so that, again, so they can have hopefully have a sustainable and long career to keep going about fulfilling their passion.
A long career like this guy had. For you specifically, been in Canada 4 years technically. What has been the most surprising thing to you living in a country where you never lived before joining the staff here?
Yeah, so that's another good question. I would say on the soccer side, I've learned a lot just in regards to just the environment, the Canadian environment, the player pool, especially in Vancouver, sort of trying to navigate through that environment, if you want to say, and the dynamics within that. I think we've tried to provide as many platforms, high-level platforms for these players to develop in and get challenged in, which is, like I said, a different dynamic than maybe in the US. So we want to move towards providing those opportunities for those players the best we can, right? And I think we've made strides with that. Off the pitch, I would say, man, I need to go on more hikes, right? Vancouver is a beautiful place. You know, there's so much to do outdoors, especially in the summertime. Beautiful climate, beautiful scenery, and it's definitely on my bucket list to really go on a proper hike. I just haven't made the time yet, but everybody gives me crap for not getting out as much as I should. But food is great, great cafes, great restaurants, great people. So, you know, my family has adapted, my kids have adapted, coming from Houston, Texas, right? Mm-hmm. So they're bought into, you know, Dad, we go over wherever Dad wants you know, so he can fulfill his passion and his dream and his job, right? So
that's awesome. How does it feel to have that support?
Yeah, it feels awesome. It feels awesome. They're sort of used to it, I want to say, through my playing career and now my coaching career. So I'm happy to have that support and adaptability that the family's able to provide.
Well, we're happy to have you in this league. Rico, thank you so much for the time today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
That does it for this edition of Coach's Corner. Best of luck to the Whitecaps FC2 as they try to make it to the playoffs this year.
Action.
All right, MLS store, I need something fresh and clean. Let's see what you got. I need that in my size. cream on cream. The fit is cold. I'm ice cream. You like that?
Welcome back to Titan Stadium in Fullerton, California. Let's take a look at the match week scores, some important ones. You see that matchup here in the Western Conference, North Texas and Austin. North Texas with the win means that they are the #1 overall seed in the Western Conference. And we look forward Tuesday, the matchup between Atlanta and Minnesota. And now we have our first half highlights. No score between LAFC and Real Monarchs. This was the one of the best chances for the Monarchs early on. It was Xavier Gozo. Lewis Mueller dumped this ball in. Charlie Rosenthal with a good hit, but William Mackey diving for that. That was called offside. This was the first big chance for LAFC. Nick Sullivan could not keep his footing and dump it over the goalkeeper. Similarly here, Lewis Mueller showing off strength just to keep the ball. Tries to go around the goalkeeper. He's tripped. There was no call here. Play on was the decision. And here's the second chance. Owen Anderson blocked at the near post by David Ochoa. You see, both sides had their opportunities. Real Monarch with 5 shots, 2 on target. LAFC with just 2 shots, the 1 on target. And the second half is going to be very key for both sides. For Real Monarchs, currently sitting at 12th in the Western Conference with 31 points. A win here would be huge. They'd be 1 point out of a playoff spot with 2 games remaining in the season. LAFC is already in the playoffs. They have their eyes set on winning their division. They're in a tight one with the Town, Tacoma, and Ventura County. The Town and LAFC are tied with 45 points. Tacoma with 43 and Ventura with 42. Everything is still out there for both of these teams as we prepare for the second half. There was one first half substitution early in the half. Luca Moisa had to come on for Zachary Farnsworth. Real Monarchs in the white kits, and LAFC and the black kits with gold numbers and lettering. Servando Berna looking at his watch, blowing his whistle, and we begin second half action between LAFC 2 and Real Monarchs. Nothing like this time of the year. Things just mean more. Chris Jaime, who's been battling with Xavier Gozo this entire match, found himself on the outside. No substitutions for either team. This back line of Baruman, Carlo Guerra, Diaz out of play. Real Monarchs, who's been at the bottom of the league the past 2 years. There's been a lot of changeover in the entire Real Monarchs organization. Thomason Olave, who was the head coach, led this team to a second-tier championship. And former Real Salt Lake great moved up to the coaching staff of Pablo Mastriani. And so Mark Lowry became the head man. And Coach Lowry said the key to this season, as we have an early foul, but the key to this season has been education and accountability. When you have a young team, you know they're going to make mistakes. But you have to educate them within those mistakes and hold them accountable moving forward. Through that education and accountability, they've been able to put together some really important results. Have earned points in 8 out of their last 10 matches to stay alive. Keller Storley into Moisa, who's hounded by Jude Terry. Sullivan takes the ball away. Guerra. Rosenthal does well to keep possession. Mueller tripped up. Iskandarian got the ball initially, but then tripped Mueller. On the flip side for LAFC, and continually talking with Coach Gonzalez, I asked him, what are the nitpicky things? What are things that you really want to focus on? Because when your team's made the playoffs, your top 4 in the conference, not a lot has gone wrong. Especially not with this guy on the ball. Lewis Mueller can't slide through 2 defenders. On the counter press, ball won back and then lost out on by LAFC. Coach Gonzalez mentioned that he wants his team to be better defensively. And Sebastian Joffrey is going to go in the book. You see Lewis Mueller is down after having his legs taken from under him. First man receiving a caution. So now these backs are going to be tested down the left and right flank. Free kick for LAFC as we wind through the 50th minute. Driving ball, overcooked. Charlie Rosenthal was the intended target. Got up for it, just a little bit too high over his head. That's the matchup to watch for the remainder of this half. 40 in black, Chris Jaime, and 72 in white, Xavier Gozo. Those two have been at it this entire match. Real Monarchs have pretty much exclusively driven down that right way, trying to find that goal that would put them in front. On the left side now, nothing there as Baruman comes back defensively. Diaz towards the goalkeeper Ochoa. Sullivan, nice touch around Moisa. Numbers coming into the attack for LAFC. Mueller slides to Baruman, but he was offside. Looked promising at one point for LAFC. And one thing that the team did is change their shape when they went down 2-0 to Portland after the half to really dictate things in the midfield. Real Monarchs really haven't played through the lines very often today, electing to go over the top and play direct to Xavier Gozo. So there really hasn't been much play in the middle of the pitch. Another direct ball. Iskandarian probing. Joffrey sends the ball into the box, and it hits the crossbar on the header. Jordan Perusa rose up, but could not knot it down. Here's where the direct play gets you. Joffrey with space to deliver the cross. And Perusa just could not put it past. This portion of the match is brought to you by Ford. On the second shot, Hasiel Orozco had to deflect it out. Corner coming for Real Monarchs. Plays short to Gozo. Cross will roll right to Ochoa. Ochoa, big throw to Mueller. Dials up the switch. No connection down that left side. Iskandarian, a little back pass to Joffrey. Sebastian Joffrey swiveling. And his cross is blocked away by Baruman. A lot of movement, but no sweet music as Baruman closed him down. Corner coming for Real Monarchs. LAFC trying to avoid conceding first for the 5th straight match. And there will be a point to the spot. Moyado tripping up Sebastian Joffrey, and Real Monarchs will have a penalty. This ball is headed away, and you see Moyado immediately. It was as if he knew as soon as he stuck his leg out that was the wrong decision. It will be Xavier Gozo. Ochoa in goal has made 2 big saves today. And Gozo calmly scores. Real Monarchs take the lead on top of LAFC. Ochoa went the wrong way, and Gozo made no mistake. And LAFC finds itself down for the 5th straight match. And the second phase of that corner, second phase of trying to defend the restart, does end the home side. And now they have to dig themselves out of another hole. But for Mark Lowry's side, what a moment this is. We're in the 58th minute of action. And they are fighting for their playoff lives. Trying to make the postseason.
The 57th minute of play. The goal scored via the penalty kick by player number 72, Xavier Goso.
Another direct ball. Gozo under it. Anderson slips through. And this time it will be a foul on Real Monarchs. How does this change the strategy for Real Monarchs? They have the goal to put them in front. They have been okay with defending this entire day. Now Jude Terry is coming the other way. Out wide to Charlie Rosenthal. Stretched a bit are the Monarchs. Rosenthal is fouled. And just on the edge of the box by an absolute whisker. Rosenthal was going at Orozco, and he stopped him right before he entered into the danger area. But this is a dangerous man standing behind this free kick. Mueller can't keep the ball down as he went over the wall. And LAFC bringing on a couple of substitutions.
These substitutions for LAFC 2 in the 61st minute of play. Leave the match to the Rocket goal, player number 66, Brian Moyano.
So Javier Hernandez comes on for Charlie Rosenthal, and Thomas Musto comes on for Brian Moyano.
Player number 81, Charlie Rosenthal. Now entering the match, player number 49.
Substitutes also helped once LAFC went down last time out. And their come from behind victory against Portland. Throw-in coming for LAFC. Into Guerra. To Diaz. And Iskandarian once again clears it away. Musto, nice looking ball. Mueller has switched sides, slips to Terry, and Mackey at the near post with the save. Gozo, a hop, step, and a skip. Xavier Gozo attacking the 15-year-old Sanders. But Adrian Sanders holding his ground. Game starting to open up. Guerra quickly forward to Sullivan. Guerra against Storley. Jaime. Musto. Thomas Musto is a player that really can provide great service. That's why when he comes on, I expect him to pick out a pass. Guerra slipping to Jaime. Cut across. Oh, it was right behind the intended target. Javier Hernandez was right there, and he made his run just a click early. You see here, and really just could not connect on second glance. Jaime, Musto, Sullivan returns to Musto, and his shot wide of the mark. But you feel a different pep in the step of LAFC now. This portion of the match is brought to you by Kaiser. '65th minute. Real Monarchs are in front by a goal. Xavier Gozo scoring on a penalty in the 57th minute. Brian Mollado, who has since been subbed off, stepping in front of Sebastian Joffrey inside the box. Joffrey was fouled, and that is what warranted the penalty. And Xavier Gozo sent it into the side. Iskandarian onside, but starts to retreat. Griffin Dillon, Holt, down the ball around to Joffrey. He loses possession. Now Chris Jaime with the ball in space to operate. Sullivan trying to return to Jaime, but he can't keep his footing. Musto to Mueller. Lewis Mueller cannot find his way through a couple of defenders. Now Owen Anderson is held up, and he's unhappy. Feels like with the pull of the jersey from behind, that a yellow should have been shown, but Servando Berna has this under control. Musto goes into the book after coming onto the pitch. Ball's given up. A chance to counter for Real Monarchs. Big moment here. On the rebound, nothing's there. David Ochoa rising to the occasion once again. In goal for LAFC. And there's a foul on Griffin Dillon. Off the turnover. It was Perusa with a hammering shot. Musto, Terry, now Xavier Gozo off the turnover by LAFC. Owen Anderson streaking into the middle of the field. Anderson trying to do it on his own, but was closed down. Mentioned how this match is opening up. This favors LAFC. Always play on the counter. We've seen it with the first team, and that trickles down to the second team. Oh my! The Monarchs with a magnificent moment. Griffin Dillon dials up one from distance. Dillon has his eyes up and saw Ochoa off his line. Wow.
You guys gotta play together! Go LA!
Substitutions happening now. Luis Rivera prepares to come on, and Aiden Hazarkani. See, Darren Iskandarian will come off, as well as Sebastian Joffrey.
Real Monarchs scored the 70th minute of play. The goal scored by player number 81, Griffin Dillon.
Musto, Terry. LAFC trying to find their way back in this match. DeCarlo Guerra loses his footing, and that's going to be a goal kick.
Also in the match for the Real Monarchs is player number 41, Darren Iskandarian. Now entering the match for the Monarchs, player number 39, Aiden Hazarkani.
What a showing from Real Monarchs up to this point. Currently leading by 2 goals. Gozo is down. He's not happy with the contact. He's back on his feet. Goes all the way back to Ochoa. LAFC now has to get moving. And that was just a rare mistake for Ochoa, who's been almost perfect to date. Gave up the penalty. Two subs for LAFC. Jean Darboux and Matt Evans both coming on. This portion of the match is brought to you by Remitly, official global money transfer partner of LAFC.
3 substitutions for LAFC, 2 in the 74th minute of play. Leaving the match in the black and gold, player number 46, DeCarlo Cara. Entering the match, player number 70, Matt Evans. Also leaving the match for LAFC, number 39, Nick Sullivan. Now entering the match, player number 55, Butchun Darbo.
Terry. Musto. And again, too aggressive by the Monarchs. Play quickly restarts. Into Darboux. Evans, Musto, Jaime, a nice turn. Darboux is offside. Coach Gonzalez has liked what Matt Evans has done offensively. Has struggled a bit defensively, but offensively he's been sound, and with the necessity of goals at this time, that's why he's been brought in. Darboux, another potential target. But for Real Monarchs, the message was extremely simple coming into today from their head coach, Mark Lowry. We have to win. We have to play to the moment. And we have to play loose and enjoy ourselves. Cross comes in. Dylan, who just had that magnificent goal, commits the foul. Minutes and some change remaining. Jaime. Darboux earns his team a corner. Cross comes. Mueller first to it. Now the ball returns into the box. Storley defending. Jaime. Evans. Jaime back to the center back, Christian Diaz. Locates Darboux. Evans. Completely pushed down, and this will be a free kick. And this is Lewis Mueller territory. First one was from about 18 yards out. It was difficult to get the ball up and over the wall and back down. This one, 24, maybe 25 yards out. Much better scenario for Lewis Mueller. Coming into today with 9 goals. Trying to match Adrian Wabowo, who has 10. at the top of this team statistically. Thomas Musto also there with Mueller. It will be Mueller, and William Mackey with a beautiful save. Nice curl to that ball. Mackey pushed it away confidently. Another chance, however, for LAFC. In swinging ball. Gozo around one defender. Does he have enough? Cannot beat Baruman, who ends up catching him and running step for step with him. And then Gozo commits the foul. Baruman goes down as he put all his effort into chasing down Xavier Gozo. It's not an easy feat, and you can see Ochoa signaling to the sideline that he might need a substitution. As Baruman is being tended to. Coach Mark Lowry going to his bench once again to try to finish off this match. Omar Marquez and Grayson Carter preparing to come on. Xavier Gozo, who has the game-winning goal right now, to come off, along with Jordan Peruza. Baruman has come off the pitch.
The Real Monarchs in the 80th minute of play. Leaving the match for the Real Monarchs, player number 72, Xavier Gozo. Now entering the match, player number 80, Grayson Carter.
LAFC is waiting to restart things.
97, Jordan Peruza. Now entering the match, player number 40, Omar Marquez.
Baruman has come off. Marius Ianero has come on. Eight minutes and change remain now. Real Monarchs in front by 2 goals. Their next match is going to be against Portland, a team who currently is ahead of them. If they were to win today, they would match Portland with 35 points, which makes next week's match so crucial because one team will be eliminated at the conclusion of that match. LAFC, this one would sting for sure. Opportunity to put some space between them and the town, as well as Tacoma and Ventura. The title race in the division. Still would have a chance to win that division title. Too far out in front of Lewis Mueller. Foul on the Monarchs, so quickly restarted. Terry is not fouled. Terry can't believe it. Now Musto, Mueller, Ionero was offside. And the time really starting to wind down now for LAFC. Real Monarchs will be in no rush as they look for their 8th win of the year. Darboe into Musto. Darboe cannot take the turn around Luka Moisa. All the way back to the goalkeeper for LAFC to send it forward. Orozco coming back defensively. Tries to scoop the ball around. Thomas Musto loses possession to Owen Anderson. Chris Jaime wins it back. Jude Terry towards Jaime. Flips it out wide to Bajung Darboe, but he is offside. These matches are all about the importance of seizing the moment. Real Monarchs have answered the call up to this point. Mueller tries to send the ball into the box. It's blocked away. Jude Terry showing great strength to win the ball back for LAFC. Jaime. Darboe. Jaime. Now the header forward. Monarchs trying to keep the ball, but they lose possession. A little push from behind and a quick restart. Can LAFC make this interesting on our final 2.5? This ball will roll out for an LAFC corner. Taken short. Jaime receives it back. Cleared away for the moment. Mueller back into the box. And Bajung Darboe trying for the spectacular. And when LAFC looks back on this match, they'll be kicking themselves for some of the missed opportunities. You go back to the first half, both Sullivan and Mueller with chances against the goalkeeper. William Mackey making big save after big save. And although Ochoa did the same in the first half, could not stop the penalty. And then with his team playing high up the field, was caught out of position by Griffin Dillon for the second goal. We wind into the 90th minute, with Real Monarchs leading by 2 goals. Mackey sends the ball away. LAFC takes over in control. Out to the magic man, Lewis Mueller. And now Aiden Hazarkani tries to switch all the way across. Connects with Marquez. His shot is blocked by Sanders. Fourth official announcing a minimum of 5 minutes as Marquez goes to the corner. Throw in for Real Monarchs. You see Terry coming together with Aiden Hazarkani. Grayson Carter didn't take too kindly to that. The referee, Servando Burnett, going to have to be careful here over these last 3.5. Mueller can't connect with Darboe. Ball's kept in. So it seemed. It will be a throw-in for the Monarchs. Omar Marquez takes this ball over. Ochoa comes off his line quickly to scoop it up. Bajung Darboe has the ball taken off his boots. Minimal time left now for LAFC, needing 2 goals. Like to find one. Mueller cannot pick out Darboe. Again, William Mackey will take his time. We think about the playoff picture. Vancouver currently sits in 7th with 39 points. They'll take on Austin and Houston. Houston sits in 8th with 35 points. And with a win today, Real Monarchs would be just below them. With 34, and there would be a 3-way tie between them, SKC, and Austin. And that makes the match between Real Monarchs and Portland so key. And again, a lot of hand fighting. Lewis Mueller wanting to know why that's being allowed. Some frustration for sure from the home side. Sanders sends the ball forward. Hernandez trying to control it. Evans is upended. And that will be a foul on LAFC. This, again, was Christian Diaz who stepped in. And there's the final whistle. Real Monarchs come on the road against the team currently sitting 3rd in the Western Conference and defeat LAFC. The final, LAFC 0, Real Monarchs 2. And today's man of the match is Griffin Dillon with one of the best goals you're going to see all season. Speechless. Nothing more you can say. You could watch that on repeat until tomorrow. And the final, once again, LAFC 0, Real Monarchs 2. They pick up the 3 points and now are tied with SKC and Austin with 34 points, 1 point out of a playoff spot. Don't forget you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com with my entire fantastic Apple TV crew. My name is James Hadnot saying so long and have a blessed evening.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.